So here we are. We've just arrived in August, and this is the 1st of May, 2025. The days are getting brighter and longer, which is great. And this is a little field of sheep right beside where we're staying. Just thought they looked really lovely. There we go. It's nothing nicer than looking out your windows at the countryside and the animals, but also at the sea. Like we were right on the sea. I generally pick places where I can see what the crossing is that I'm intending to do. And actually, it was quite hard getting accommodation at that time. I left it a bit late. And this was one of the only few places that was available that was close by. But it was really, really lovely. And I picked something a little bit bigger this time because we had company staying with us as well. I had a group of kayakers, a couple from the area, and then two others who were coming down to join us. And so I had a bit more accommodation space for them. So this is where we're staying, Murphy's Cottage, which was really lovely. I'd highly recommend. And right on the beach, as you can see, August Head. This is August Head. August Beach. And yeah, this is surfing goes on here. Right next door to where we're staying was this little beach bar. So nice, really lovely. We went in there for some food. This is us just exploring the place, and there's a lot of people. There's like a caravan park, well, not caravan park, camper van park beside us. So there's a lot of activity, but we were sort of tucked away behind. It was very nice. So nice just to be able to walk out the door and round for some food. And there's a yeah, so sort of having arrived, stretching the legs after the long drive, probably about a 5-hour drive, I'd say. And this is us.
So just arrived in August and staying literally in a little cottage right on the beach, which is amazing. Looking forward to this weekend. I've got a bit of company and I'm trying to paddle a couple of bits that I didn't get done in the past. So I'm back to Sligo. I did all of Killybegs and everything, but I didn't get the crossing done last time. So I'm hoping to cross Donegal Bay tomorrow, and I've got an entourage of kayakers to join me who are very well experienced, and a couple from the area. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, that the wind is to pick up a bit more tomorrow, and then a bit more on Sunday. But Sunday, hoping to get to Achill. There's sheep, lambs. It's the 1st of May. It's lovely, and it's like 9 o'clock, and it's still light, which is wonderful. So really looking forward to, as you can see, across there, Donegal, Sligo, which we did last time. Finished in Killybegs, so it's that crossing from Killybegs basically over here to Sligo. So fingers crossed, yay!
And also, one of the reasons why I booked this weekend is that Jack had a rugby trip, his first rugby trip down to Sligo. There they all are, with their little mascot, and they've all been camping and everything. So all raring to go. Sligo, that's their van. So we went first of all to drop. I was dropping Richard and Jack off at the rugby, and then I was heading on. That's them all getting started. Their warm up, look, doing a few press ups and things. So that's them playing Sligo. So very exciting. Anyway, I left them there, and I was going to be driving this about an hour down to Mount Charles. So we decided to cross this pier. This is Killybegs Harbour where we finished last time. But you know, even if there's, it's very hard to find places to get in and out of. It's still quite a long paddle out to here and then across. But with the wind, we thought we might be getting pushed too far out to sea. So we decided that we would start here instead to do the crossing. I think it was going to be a bit longer, but we'd be more sheltered. So we were going to cross from Mount Charles and then along here. That'd be quite interesting because we're going past Creevy Pier. That's where I used to do my beach lifesaving, and past Rossnowlagh again. I used to do my beach lifesaving down there, and Ballyshannon and Bundoran, and then finishing here at Mullaghmore. So this was the crossing here that we decided to do. And bearing in mind, last time I was paddling around this bit, we encountered a whale. So the same stretch of water. They say that the fish here in this area are amazing. The biggest, I think, tuna caught in Europe was right around here. So yeah, exciting. We are at Mount Charles Pier, and this is me driving along. There seem to be a lot of these cars. Anyway, here we go. Mount Charles Pier, and
I'm planning to do the crossings, the Donegal Bay crossing. Get over to Mullaghmore, ideally. It's about a 3-hour paddle. Feeling that Creevy Point is a good hour. So I've got a couple of options, and I'm very lucky to have very experienced kayakers today. So just called the Coast Guard, so we'll
yep, so lots of company. First time for me paddling with this is Maya and Tony, who live in Sligo area, and Andy, who's been out with, who's in the last paddle. So all looking very nice and shimmery and flat out there. And we're all just trying to figure out, you know, what's the best. We always have good to have a few options for the crossing. This is Matt, who's joining us as well. Excellent kayaker. You know, we're thinking, well, if we weren't enjoying it so much, we'd stop at Creevy Pier, or we'd try and keep going the whole distance over to Mullaghmore would be nice. That would be a great paddle. It's just Mullaghmore is a big wave spot, and you don't want to land in on the big wave spot. Obviously, the waves there can be huge, 20 to 30 feet high, maybe more. So I just wanted to make sure we got to the harbour and not into the middle of those crazy waves. This is all taken off, and then lovely paddle out into the sea. I end up kneeling. It was a wee bit choppy to stand. You can just about see. So I was kneeling most of the time, paddling, and we were just heading right across. It was like this whole stretch right down to the end here was kind of where we were headed. You could just about see the castle at Mullaghmore. And then all of a sudden Creevy Pier came along, and it was so nice and calm. We just thought, oh, keep going. This is quite enjoyable. And you can just about see there that yellow building that is the sand house on Rossnowlagh beach. So these are kind of famous surf spots in Sligo, and it's not interesting seeing them from the sea. There's lots of times I've been on the beaches there looking out to sea, and it's interesting looking in for a change. And then I think this might have been around Creevy Pier area. And then I didn't get too many more photos after that, because the further out towards the sea that we got, the water just got more and more turbulent, and the wind just really seemed to pick up too. There was less shelter. So eventually.
Oh my gosh, totally wrecked. So the crossing was good for ages, for about 3 hours. And then all of a sudden, the last hour and a half, it was sort of not against the wind, but crosswind. And there's a quite big swell, cross waves coming across the board. And now the scenery was amazing. It was really cool going past Rossnowlagh, seeing Bundoran from the sea and the mountains and everything like that. But it was at a point where I just didn't even want to take my camera out in case I dropped it, or even moved to put my GoPro on, because it's just trying to stay on the board, to be honest. But all good. came in just on the beach there beside Mullaghmore Harbour. I'm just meeting up with the others, and we're going to do a shuttle system to go back to get the car. So anyway, I was so relieved to get our feet on the ground because kneeling for about 4 or 5 hours there, and just where it was gusty, the wind, all of a sudden it was just kind of full on wind and quite relentless. Anyway, it's done, crossing's done, and we're in safe and sound.
So this is us at Mullaghmore, and I'd come in at the beach here right beside the harbour, and I was just walking back to meet the guys, and yeah, it was pretty wrecked. And so I tucked my board in and around here while I went off to just check on them because they'd come in at the harbour. And yeah, and then we had to sort out our transport back. You know, we had one van here, and we had to put everything in the van. I think that's how we did it, and then drive back. No, I think I left my board here, and then we had to all jump into one van and then drive the hour back to Mount Charles to Pier to pick up our cars and then drive back. And I still had to pick up my board and Richard and Jack on the way home. So it was quite a long one. Anyway, that was us heading out of Mullaghmore. There's some lovely paintings there on the wall, the big waves there, it's a big wave spot. And yeah, then celebratory drinks. So I'm sort of bit patchworky this one because the next day we went off to do Achill Sound, but I'm going to talk about that when I get to the Achill Sound part. Well, I've got the photos there to show you all about that. But yes, we decided to go to the little pub nearby the beach hut and tried out the lovely oysters and delicious food and the local music. And it was nice. There we are, August, sunset. And that was the cottage we were staying in. We really enjoyed that. It was very, very nice. Like I said, a bit more room because we had others staying with us, but that's the guys all doing their sea swim. And that's the beach. Really lovely. So it was just very relieved to get that crossing finished. Looking out at the sea afterwards, having it done, it's always just a nice feeling. A few photos from inside the house, just really excellent being able to look out and see the water. So great trip all around, everyone really enjoyed, thankfully, and that was it. That was pretty wrecked. It's very tiring, that 5 hours, I think, on the knees paddling across the bay. And it just goes to show everything can all change quite suddenly, where it went from being blissfully calm and flat to full on wind and swell once we got into the more open sea. Anyway, that was that done. Anyway, thanks for watching.